everyone. I want to give you an update on how the lawsuit's going that my ex-husband filed against me and my friends for $1 million after we told people about how he physically and emotionally abused me during our marriage. At this stage, the case has been going on for 2.5 years, and it's unclear how much longer it will last. This past January, our lawyer argued our case in front of a panel of judges in the DC Court of Appeals. The judges will decide whether to send the case to discovery and trial, or dismiss some of the claims, or dismiss all of the claims. But we have no idea how long it's going to take the judges to decide. In the meantime, we still have various ongoing legal costs, and we're saving up for the possibility of a trial. Our goal is $150,000. I hate asking this year after year, but it's my birthday in a few weeks. So if you were to see me in real life and buy me a drink, I'm kindly asking that you make a donation instead to our ongoing legal fundraiser. If you're feeling extra generous, we have lots of folks who make monthly donations to our fundraiser, and $10 or $20 a month makes a huge difference for me and Gabby and our legal fees. I'm sick of talking about the lawsuit, and part of me is sick of talking about these issues publicly over and over and over again for years. But a bigger part of me knows that I'll never shut up about this, and I'll never sweep these issues under the rug, especially if it helps remove abusers from human rights organizations, or if it helps even one woman get out of a similar situation like the one that I was in. Every time I tell the world what Raw Ed Gerard did to me, I shine a light on the darkness in which abuse thrives and abusers hide. Thank you for your consideration, and thank you for your support, and happy holidays.
This woman is being sued by her husband for over $1 million, and it all stems from something very clear: defamation. This case is setting a dangerous precedent because it shows why, nowadays, marriage is the worst deal for a man. You still lose everything and end up separated from that person. And now, that same person can use your name, your social media, and your life to profit by accusing you of abuse and publicly destroying your reputation. That's why he made the decision to sue her. In this video, you'll see her statements before the judge and how this woman is profiting from her divorce. If you enjoy this content, help us reach 200,000 subscribers and leave a comment with your opinion. And now, let's get started.
My name's Allie. I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and I help women leave their shitty husbands. I left my ex-husband in 2022 after he violently, physically, emotionally, and psychologically abused me. Exactly 1 year later, to the day, he filed a lawsuit for $1 million against me and my friends because we told people about how he abused me. In honor of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I want to talk today about how it's important to name and shame abusers for accountability. Calling out your abuser has nothing to do with revenge. It's about breaking a pattern that thrives in silence. It's silence that gives abusers their power. When you call out your abuser, you take that power back, even if they try to bully and intimidate you through the legal system, like what me and my friends are experiencing now. When we don't name abuse, we actually protect the abuser instead of the survivor. And accountability is a form of prevention. Every time someone is called out, it deters another abuser from harming someone else because they see what could happen to them publicly. I know from personal experience that it can be scary to name and expose your abuser, but we have more power than them, and we can name and shame them so that they never harm someone again. Protecting someone's reputation over protecting someone's safety is how abuse keeps happening. We don't need to stay silent in order to not rock the boat or to keep the peace. We need to be loud in order to stay safe. If you think that one of your loved ones might be in an abusive relationship, some signs to look out for are: have they changed their personality significantly since they met someone? Do they isolate themselves, or do they always have a convenient reason not to hang out with you? They make excuses all the time for their partner's behavior. And do you feel some sort of weird tension, but every time you ask them if they're okay, they insist they're fine? These are all small but subtle hints that your friend could be in an abusive relationship. It's important to know the signs, believe survivors, and to push for real accountability. That's how we'll put an end to this cycle.
Stop it. Get some help.
If this isn't defamation, then what is? Of course, abusive men exist. No one denies that. But when you turn an accusation into content, start a channel to talk about your ex, begin asking for donations, and position yourself as some kind of coach to monetize your story, we're no longer talking about justice or social support. You're benefiting your own wallet. But this is the new playbook. I divorce you. I don't get the outcome I wanted in court, so I'll chase attention on social media, make myself famous by telling our story, paint you as the villain, and since I'm a woman, I'm automatically the victim. And the most serious part, there's no visible evidence, no restraining orders, no solid formal complaints. Yet your image, your relationships, and your entire environment are still destroyed. Friends pile on, social pressure builds, and in many cases you even lose your job, all because of a mix of revenge and personal gain. This is not a minor issue, and sooner or later, the law will have to confront it.
The issues of public concern that were discussed, these are not issues that become from different sides of the public debate. It's not that I support violence against domestic partners. It's not that I am opposing raising funds to a charity that works to help survivors of domestic violence. So we do not approach most of the issues that were discussed publicly. We don't come to them from two different sides of the public debate. We actually come from the same debate. As the council said, we are progressive activists who work in the same community. So the assumption...
Do you think it's required that they come from two different sides?
I mean, that's some of the case law and assumptions regarding the anti-SLAPP law is to protect a public debate when two people or two entities coming from different sides of the debate, one is trying to silence the other to stifle that public debate. What I'm alleging is that these are defamation statements that came from a marriage went wrong, a divorce that is a very ugly divorce.
So there are certainly some statements that are allegations of criminal activity against another person that are issues of public interest. To give you sort of the first example that comes to mind is, E. Jean Carroll accuses President Trump of raping her as he's on the precipice of becoming president for the first time. Certainly an issue of public concern, and I don't think President Trump would come out and say, I'm of a different view, I think rape is great. He says it's a false allegation, it's not true. That never happened, is his defense. So, but that would pretty clearly be an issue of public interest that the allegation was commenting on, because you have a public figure. So it's not quite right just to say that because she's accusing you of criminal acts, they're therefore matters of private concern, nor is it quite true that because you agree sort of on the badness of those acts as alleged, the fact that you're not on opposite sides of that bottom line issue means that the Anti-SLAPP Act can't apply. I don't think there would be any question in the Trump case that I just outlined. That would be an issue of public concern, and the Anti-SLAPP Act would apply. So what makes your case different?
Like I said, she's a woman, you're a man, so you're the one at fault. That's how our system works across the Western world. And in the middle of all this, a key legal tool comes into play: anti-SLAPP laws, created specifically to prevent people from using the courts as a weapon to silence opinions or public complaints. The problem arises when any narrative is forced into the category of public interest to gain legal protection, even when what's really behind it is a personal conflict. Because here's the central point: not everything said on social media automatically becomes a matter of public interest. And that's exactly what this case is challenging. What this man is arguing is straightforward. This isn't a broad social debate. It's a set of defamatory accusations born out of a divorce that went wrong. But listen to what this man says. These are defamatory allegations that came from a marriage that fell apart. It's a divorce. Once you separate, that's supposed to be the end of it. You go your way, and I go mine. But that's not how it works today. Now I'll use your name and our shared history, turn you into a martyr figure, and leverage that to boost my social and financial life.
Mr. Giroir himself had previously, before Ms. McCracken ever opened her mouth in this case, Mr. Giroir previously was the subject of national media coverage because he had been fired by Amnesty International after an investigation showed that he acted inappropriately, sexually inappropriately around a female colleague, and then turned around, claimed he was being discriminated against, and filed a discrimination and defamation lawsuit. There was a Bloomberg, news article that was sort of presenting this nationally. So Mr. Giroir specifically, his leadership in the human rights community has itself already been the subject of sort of national media coverage. The case was resolved by a confidential settlement, and so now we're getting more information that goes to sort of, should Mr. Giroir, a prominent human rights advocate, be in this position of leadership in the human rights community, advocating, to be clear, on behalf of people to be free from, unwanted violence, for instance.
Oh, hell no!
If you have to dig up a past case to try to defend a recent one, it means you don't have solid evidence to support your version. And let's be clear, this isn't about defending the man, because we don't know his full story. What is clear is that there are already real consequences, like him losing his job, and that's not a minor detail. What I am addressing is the dangerous precedent we're seeing today. I divorce you. Then I start telling our personal life like it's some kind of survival story where you're the big bad wolf. I start saying you were abusive, because today the word abuse can mean anything. If you don't give her money, it's financial abuse. If she disrespects you and you set boundaries, it's mental abuse. If she tries to destroy you in the divorce and you don't allow it, then suddenly it's domestic abuse, emotional abuse. Whatever makes the story more believable, so more people follow me. And then I can label myself a life coach just for having gone through an experience. It's completely outrageous, but she has something to say. Let's take a look.
Can we normalize not seeing divorce as a failure? I'd rather be divorced than stuck in a relationship that's killing my spirit. People act like staying together is the goal no matter what, but actually no. Peace is the goal, and self-respect is the goal. Leaving was hard, but staying would have been harder, and honestly, I'm proud of myself. My name is Allie, I'm a survivor of domestic abuse, and I help women leave their shitty husbands. People love to judge, but they don't know what it's like to walk in someone else's shoes. Growing up, my parents were together, and they stayed together, and so for me, that was a really good example. And I always thought that the point of marriage was to stay together and to make this commitment to be together until death do us part. And while that sounds like a really nice goal, unless your partner is treating you with respect and dignity, then it's not a feasible option. Before I got divorced, I was ashamed of the idea of it. I literally would say, I don't believe in divorce. I wanted to follow the footsteps of my parents. I admired their commitment, and I admired how they stuck through each other through thick and thin. But as a result of my inability to overcome my pride, I put up with some really crazy shit. And it wasn't until one day that I thought to myself, okay, fuck it, divorce would be fine, that I was able to let go. And like I've said in many, many videos, it was extremely hard getting over to the other side. But now that I am, I'm so fucking happy. I walked away from a life that did not honor me, and that was not worth sticking around for forever. I would have been fucking miserable. I feel like a lot of people like to judge women in particular for getting divorced as if like we didn't try hard enough or we were at some sort of fault in our marriage. But I can promise you, I tried every fucking day. I gave up my heart, my soul. I did so much goddamn labor to try to make that marriage work. And it was not my fault that it failed. And while I believe that mine failed under exceptional circumstances, which included psychological, verbal, and physical abuse, it should not take that much in order for someone to break away and make a new life for themselves. There are a million valid reasons to get divorced. And getting divorced is not the end of the world. I mean, for fuck's sake, marriage is a social construct, and whether or not you think that it's sacred and should last forever, at the end of the day, we just made it up. And there is nothing wrong with getting divorced. You don't owe anyone a lifetime of suffering. The only person you owe anything to is yourself. Divorce is not a sign of failure. It does not make you a failure. It makes you free. It means you have chosen yourself. So break away from the stigma of it and choose yourself.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
I'll tell you something. When you label someone as the villain, yet after leaving you their life keeps moving forward, financially and emotionally, while you stay stuck and continue being a burden in their life even after everything is over, then to me, you're the toxic one. Because you're the one who hasn't found closure, the kind where you let go. Instead, you keep trying to tear them down, chasing them, defaming them, becoming famous at the cost of destroying their personal, professional, and social life. It's not about making videos, but when you start calling a man a domestic abuser, you place a mark on him that becomes a heavy burden making it harder for him to move forward in every area of his life. And where it hits the hardest, listen carefully, men, is when it comes to building a relationship with another woman. Also, if you truly tried everything to stay married, no one fights to save a relationship where they are being abused. A marriage takes two people. Anyone who walks away from one claiming they bear zero responsibility is simply a narcissist, because you are the other 50% of that relationship. But that requires maturity and the ability to take accountability. And as we all know, accountability is kryptonite for women. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Why do you think so many women now share their divorces on social media? Who do you think is right, the ex-husband or her? If you enjoyed the video, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support means a lot to us and motivates us to keep creating more content. Stay tuned for the next video from the wall.